CVA's AccuraSeries, Bagara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
This segment is being sponsored by Capital Sportsman. All right, this week's Pictures of the Week is being brought to you by Flowers Deer Processing, but not for much longer.
No,
It's just about
sad days are coming.
I hear the big lady warming up.
That's right. She's warming her voice up.
She's warm.
And,
I
I tell you, she ain't getting too warm right now.
No, not too warm. Nobody's getting warm right now. I am in my blanket.
That's right. But you know what? It's starting to catch some fish.
Look at here. You think those Nunley boys aren't tearing it up?
Stacy Nunley sent us this picture, and this is him and his son Cody with a day that they had on Nickajack just a few days before Christmas, and that's a good day.
That's
fishing.
an armful. I don't care who you are.
That's a double armful there.
That's 4 armfuls, really. But
that's
boy,
right.
I tell you what, that is a
That is. Right here, Larry Lambden shot this deer. He talks to us back and forth a lot on Facebook, one of our big Facebook followers. But he got this buck this year. It was in December, and this is his twin grandsons standing there with him. He didn't give us their names, but he just wanted us to get that on here, and we appreciate Larry for sending us that picture.
I know what you're thinking, though. Tenderloin.
Yeah, that's right, tenderloin. And here we've got Gary Robitaille with a couple of late December smallmouth that he caught off Dale Hollow, and these were from.
Now, did he catch it or did Patty catch it?
You know, he didn't specify.
I think Patty probably caught those.
He didn't specify, but he's in the picture. Anyway.
Gary's stealing their thunder.
And then right here, Kevin Brooks sent us this picture, and this is his son Jacob with a buck that he got just a couple of weeks ago, and said that he was glad to be helping fill the freezer. So I want to say congratulations to Jacob.
That's what kids need to do. Feed the family.
That's
Get
right.
out there and go hunting and fishing and feed the family. That's what you ought to do.
That's right.
Hey, you can send your pictures to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robinson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219. Or better yet, just Facebook us. That's the best.
We'll get them and get them on here just as quick
And
as
then
we can.
they can tell a story.
That's right.
And
We want a little story with it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't just. I mean, that's fine if you just want to send a picture, but give us a little background with it. Tell us a little story with it.
That's it. We want to know. Because,
that's what we want to hear.
It's important.
It is.
All right. We've got Kelly Albert with us tonight with K-9 Fishing. We're talking about land, fishing lines and everything, but we also have Kevin. And Kevin, you've been doing a lot of, not so much the last couple of weeks because you've had to touch of the flu, which is why you're on that end of the set and I'm over here. And I figured since Kelly brought you, Kelly can deal with it.
You put me here.
But now, before you left, y'all were catching some good stripe and hybrid. And
Yes, we're catching quite a bit of hybrid, yeah.
Tell us, how does somebody go about catching some good hybrid? And because they're good at eating too.
They are. As I was saying earlier, everything's going to revolve around bait right now or any time of the year, but you got to start looking in your deeper river channels. That's where they're all going to be right now. You have to be able to read your sonar and to be able to locate these fish. And once you find them, then it's the hard part is finding them.
Yeah.
And once you find them, it's relatively simple after that. What we do. I've been with Brian Carper's Guide Service for 5 years now, and we've just recently added a new boat just for the hybrid.
Right.
Our hybrid clients that are wanted us to take them out. But what we're doing is we're finding these fish in these deep channels, and then we're locating them, we mark them, and then we'll troll back around through them, and we'll pick up.
Are you using downriggers and things like that?
No, we're not.
You're not. Okay.
No, we don't.
But you could. You could if you wanted.
You could. Yeah. Trolling is very new to me. It's not something that I'm used to doing, but I'm learning.
Right.
And I'm finding that, especially in the wintertime, you can stay kind of huddled up and just, if you have your rod holders in the boat,
let your mercury do the work.
Just pretty much, yeah. Let your mercury do the work and watch your rod. And,
that's right.
And we just troll through those fish and we pick them up every now and then, and every now and then we get a really good one on. Brian had one. Gosh, I think it was close to 12 pounds, 13 pounds the other day. So he had a really good one on, and that's pretty much
Kevin,
what we're
what's
doing.
some baits of choice? I mean, what are you trying to get down there with?
What we're doing is we're throwing them on heavy jig heads. Our trolling them on heavy jig heads, depending on where they're stationed in the water column. If they're suspended higher on the bait, we'll use like a half-ounce lure or a half-ounce jig head. And all we're doing is we're just putting just a regular basic fluke style bait on there and just trolling it through the school of fish.
Do y'all ever use live bait for striper or hybrid anymore?
I do not. No, never have. We're just throwing the fluke or a swimming style swim bait or something like that, and just trolling it through that school. If the school is deeper, then we'll change to a half or a 3/4 ounce or even a 1 ounce head, depending on how deep they are. You got to get there to them, or at least right above them where they can see it up above them.
Now, Kelly, what kind of line would you think to use on
Oh, I can tell you.
something like that?
I'd be using K-9.
Well, I mean, what the poundage is what I was looking for.
Go ahead, Kevin.
This is a K-9 deal here.
I'll have 17 to 20 pound K9.
Okay,
line
that's
on
what
mine.
I was
I've
wanting to
been
know.
using K9 and Kelly stuff for a year now.
Now,
And,
do you use
I
the
love it.
fluorocarbon?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
On my Alabama rigs, I use the braid, but everything else, all of my bass
Now, do
outfits.
you use
is,
a fluorocarbon leader? I'm gonna ask that.
on my braid?
On your braid?
I do on my spinning rods.
Okay.
On my spinning rods, I have a
Okay.
mainline braid, and I usually have a fluorocarbon leader, 6 to 8 foot long.
What about, and you said your Alabama rigs, are you tying them up with braid? Because I do, or
Yes.
straight to braid.
A straight braid. Yeah.
But if I'm trolling something,
Yeah. Now, if I'm trolling,
can you use braid for trolling? I
you
mean,
can, but there's a lot of big trees in Priest. A lot of people
There
don't
is.
realize. There's a lot of standing timber
Yeah,
in
there
there.
is.
And I use the fluorocarbon because it's easier to break off.
okay.
Because with the braid, it makes it so much harder to break off. If you're trolling and if it's windy, a lot of times in wintertime it's windy.
Mm-hmm.
If you get hung up, it's hard to get turned around and get back to that bait. Instead with the fluorocarbon, it's a lot easier to break.
Just pop it. Mm-hmm. Now, Kelly, because you fished as long as I have, I like to see live bait sometimes. You know, I throw. I'm gonna tell you, I throw.
Like to watch it float.
Yeah, I do. I throw.
Like bring it back to your childhood. days.
No, stop it! I'll kick you off this.
You want to see your Bible go down.
No, I'm talking about like we used to troll for the big stripes on the K-9 and everything using live bait. Mainly farm-raised rainbow trout. And I'm talking about, I thought it was going to be a shore lunch, wound up, that was bait. I was like, golly. But we caught some big stripers. I mean, some 20-pound plus striper on those things. I still like to see fishing every now and then get back to the basics of live bait, whether it be river herring or shad, just using regular shad, or shiners, anything like that, toughies. I know we do crappie, but other fish species like live bait too. I just think, is there still a niche for that anymore, or is everybody just gone artificial?
Yeah. No, sure. Everybody, there are still folks out there that love to use live bait, and live bait is hard to compete with in the natural world. It really is. I mean,
if you're going out for a freezer to put some stuff in the freezer, live bait's hard to beat.
it is. It's hard to beat the real thing.
I remember we used to go, Kelly, to Dale Hollow though, and get up against those bluffs, and
Right.
we used a clam shot and a brown Aberdeen hook,
Right.
circle hook, and you threw it up against the bluffs, and that thing never would make it to the bottom.
They still do that at Tim's Ford now.
Yeah, I mean, and you'd see brown fish from that long to that long would
Yeah.
just wear you out. But it was always fun, and we made a lot of memories, made a lot of friendships out there doing that kind of thing. I just hate to see that kind of aspect of fishing go away. I don't want it to go away. I think that's a great time to bring the kids out. They're not constantly chunking and getting tangled up, but they can get out there with that live bait and then watch it like go through the water. That's fun.
Yeah.
It is.
It's still there. There's a lot still doing it. I hear from them.
I do too. We want to hear some more though. I want to get some filming going on there. And Kevin, you need to take me.
Anytime you're ready, bud.
See there, y'all all heard it. I got him on film. He's in the archives already.
You got it.
Hey, what we got to do next?
Got our product of the week.
And you have?
Well, this week's product of the week's been brought to you by Caney Fork Outdoors. You know, they got a lot going on up there. Go up there and see them at the Big Rock Market up there, right at there, the Center Hill Dam exit. Or you can come in there and see Ryan in Donaldson and see what he's got going. He's got all
I'll tell you
kinds
something
of
else
stuff
too.
going on
Come
here.
visit us February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th
Be right
at the
there with
Wilson
us.
County Fairgrounds.
That's right.
They're going to be with us.
Yeah, come down and say hi, see some of the things they've got going on. They've got some really neat rigs
do.
coming out this year.
They do.
So they do. We were talking with them the other day about it. So,
all right. So what's our product?
well, this week's product of the week, I've got our friend Kelly here. Now, I've got to admit, I kind of messed up a while ago, got him into it a little bit early, but we want to talk just a little bit about this line that
Kelly,
he's got
what do
with
you
him.
got there, buddy?
Well, last time we were on the show, we talked about bass fishing.
Yeah,
And still the same topic, K-9 fishing line.
that's right.
But tonight, instead of bass fishing, and there is a huge crowd using our clear and even some of the high-vis fluorocarbon for bass.
All right.
You mentioned Okeechobee. I've got guys down there now, and that
they're all
coast
headed down there.
They're using this down there. But being the time of year for crappie, my mind's on crappie.
Me too.
I mean, this is the time to fill the
fill the
freezer.
freezers.
Yep, this is the time. And the two main, most popular ones, we've got some guys using 1/8 ounce jig heads. They'll use high vis with the 1/8 ounce, maybe use an 8-pound test. And then when you get down to the smaller, lighter heads, like 64th or 32nd ounce heads, they'll use 4 or 6-pound, but most everybody uses the high vis. Rather than clear, because you know those crappie, that line's starting to settle, and sometimes the line just quits sinking. That high vis tells you real quick you better set the hook.
I'm gonna tell you something. And the older we get, the more help we need.
Yeah, I see your,
Yeah,
I see your
mine.
glass.
It's heck when you got a fish like this, like is he moving?
But if anybody wants to get more information about K-9 fishing, they can go to K9fishing.com, K9fishing.com, or there's a lot of tackle stores. Go in your tackle store and ask, do you have K-9? A lot of them do.
That's right. All right, we'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters.